like to proceed This is a meeting of the Borough of Highlands, Mayor and Council regular meeting, Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times and by posting of the Borough of Highlands Municipal Building and filing with the Borough Clerk all on January 1st, 2021. Items listed on the agenda as subject to change. Please forget to mention that executive session was canceled and this regular meeting is 8 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. I will now call roll. Councilmember Martin?
Here.
Councilmember Mazzola? Here. Councilmember Melnick?
Here.
Council President Pacheco? Here. Mayor Brion? Here. On tonight's agenda, we have a proclamation to be read by Mayor Brion.
I had the great honor of reading this to Ms. May Rugg earlier at their Highlands Housing Authority meeting at Gianna's. The proclamation honoring the volunteerism of Ms. May Rugg. Whereas Ms. May Rugg is a lifetime citizen of the Borough of Highlands, has offered her time to the community for decades. And whereas May Rugg was a founding member of the Highlands Historical Society and continues to be a member today. And whereas Ms. Rugg served the Highlands Housing Authority as the Governor's appointed commissioner from 2005 to 2021. And whereas Ms. Rugg has also volunteered as both a Girl Scout troop leader and softball coach. And whereas Ms. Rugg's other club memberships include the Highlands Senior Citizens Club and the Highlands Singers. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Carolyn Brion, the Mayor of the Borough of Highlands, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim December 1, 2021 as May Rugg Day in Highlands, and I extend on behalf of our residents our heartfelt gratitude to this dedicated volunteer to the Highlands community. Done this first day of December 2021. Bless you. Thank you. Under my hands. Bless you.
Next item on the agenda is resolutions. First, we have R21-219, a resolution.
Can I make a comment before we start the resolution?
This is not the time for public comment. That's at the end.
Well, it's not really a public comment, it's just, there's one in here that I need to bring the attention to everybody for that.
Oh, this is not the time for public comment. Public comment is at the end of the meeting.
So you're gonna move ahead with the resolution without letting me put my 2 cents on one of the resolutions? I mean, that doesn't sound...
The time for public comment is at the end of the meeting.
When it's all said and done. So I can't make a comment. On
That's correct.
Okay.
Can a resolution be rescinded?
This is both out of order. We are doing resolutions right now. And public comment is at the end of the meeting.
Well, we're out of...
Unless we're doing an ordinance where there is public comment.
Because you know what? You have
Sir, I would ask you to be seated.
Because they ran a fundraiser for 3 of you people there.
What are you talking about?
All right? So I want to
Okay.
make sure that you recuse yourself.
Steve, please, either be seated or you will be asked to leave.
Yes, you do. Yes.
You have to behave in an orderly fashion or you must leave the
I
building.
also want to be able to say my piece.
Then you will be able to do that in public portion.
Would you like me to proceed, Mayor?
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. The first resolution is R21-219, a resolution authorizing the payment of bills.
I will offer that as long as it is excluding the entry for Pulte Homes of reimbursement for the performance bond.
Yes, that's mentioned in the resolution.
Excellent, then I will offer it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-220, a resolution authorizing the refund of a sewer payment.
I'll second.
With that, Councilmember Mazzola for the office, Mayor Bouillon for the second. Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-221, a resolution authorizing the refund of a tax payment.
I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-222, a resolution adopting corrective action plan for the 2020 municipal audit.
I'll offer it. I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-224, a resolution authorizing submission of a strategic plan for the Highlands and Atlantic Highlands Municipal Alliance Grant. Oh, I skipped one. R21-223, a resolution providing for the transfer of a surplus fund.
I'll offer it. I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-224, a resolution authorizing submission of a strategic plan for the Highlands and Atlantic Highlands Municipal Alliance Grant for fiscal year 2022 for the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Fiscal Grant Cycle, July 2020 through June 2025.
I will offer that. I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-225, a resolution approving a membership application for the Highlands Fire Department, Cooper Bertoldo.
I will offer that with pleasure. I'll second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next, we have R21-226, a resolution of the Borough of Highlands in the County of Monmouth extending the designation of Captain Coves Marina LLC as the redeveloper for the property known as Block 84, Lot 2.01.
I will offer it.
I will second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Absolutely not. I am sorely disappointed with the lack of progress that has gone on there in the marina. A couple of meetings ago, we had the engineers and others weigh in on it. They even commented how some of the work is not being done properly. And I think everybody at this table should be ashamed at the lack of interest and the lack of push that this town that this council and the town has not done in the past year or so. Absolutely not.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. The last resolution we have for tonight is R21-227, a resolution approving an application for a person-to-person transfer of liquor license 1317-33-006.
I will offer it.
I will second.
Councilmember Martin?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola?
Yes.
Councilmember Melnick?
Yes.
Council President Olszewski?
Yes.
Mayor Bouillon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt. Next item on the agenda is reports. First, we have the mayor's report, followed by the administrator's report.
Okay, the November report is as follows. We awarded the contract for the North Street Pump Station electrical upgrades on November 10th. Work should start in December. I actually just signed the contract for it before the meeting. This project has been on the books since 2013. We updated our memo of understanding with JFK Meridian Health to expand their hours of service from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. This was done on November 10th. We purchased an ambulance using funds that I will explain in an ordinance below. We entered into a contract with the loaner ambulance at no cost to the borough, and this is all because one of our ambulances is down and we're only running with one ambulance at the moment. But as soon as we get that loaner in place, we'll be back up to 2, and then once we purchase the new ambulance, we'll be all the way there and return the loaner ambulance. We awarded some engineering contracts for work around the borough, and one was to create the Overlook Park that's located on that empty lot on Route 36. This is also a project that's been around since, I want to say 2006, but we're finally moving forward with that. Also, services in connection with the Snug Harbor Park, Huddy Park, and Veterans Parks improvements. Most of those improvements are going to be geared towards redoing pavement and other parks improvements. The ordinance passed, as I had explained, it was a capital ordinance passed providing for various improvements and the acquisition of capital equipment, and the majority of that $500,000 is going to be taken up on the new ambulance. We released the findings of the public engagement questionnaire for the Central Business District Area Need Redevelopment on November 8th. The survey field dates were October 3rd to October 31. The Veterans Day breakfast at Henry Hutchin Regional School was a great success. The kids were amazing, and the veterans and other guests enjoyed breakfast from food donated by a local restaurant. I do want to have a special shout out to Mary Ann File for all of her hard work in organizing the event. She did a really great job, as she usually does. We released findings of the other public engagement questionnaire for the possible PK through 12 regionalization on November 13th, and the field dates for that survey was September 21 through October 31. The new playground equipment installation started on November 17th at Huddy Park. Council and staff attended the New Jersey League of Municipalities for courses and networking opportunities. A big update here is that a joint, and by joint, this is Monmouth University, Urban Coastal Institute, Highlandsboro, and Aberdeen Township. All together, I've made a joint application for a pre-proposal for the New Jersey DEP REPI grant, which is for to help pay for our 2021 flood mitigation plan on November 23rd. And the reason that both townships and Monmouth View are joining together to try to get this grant for us is that Aberdeen is also doing a flood mitigation plan that would impact Earl. And this grant goes through the Department of Defense, and our plan would also impact Earl. So that's why the three of us joined forces to get, hopefully, that done. Next up was a community dinner. It was a grab-and-go event, still because of COVID, but it was still very successful. And we also delivered to the residents of Patak and Jenny Parker. That was on November 24th. The draft Bay Avenue redevelopment plan was released also on November 24th. New playground equipment installation started on November 29th at Veterans Park. Just last night, we had a special meeting with the tax assessor to explain home valuations. Yesterday morning, we had a pre-construction meeting for repairs to the inside of Marine Place bulkhead. And then as of yesterday, we had 24 new cases of COVID here in town. That's up from last month's total was 7. The vaccination status below is one shot 58%, complete 52, 12 to 17-year-olds 46%, complete 43, 12 plus years old is one shot 64, complete 58, 18 plus one shot 65, complete 58, 30 plus one shot 68, complete 61, and the best number on this chart is 65 plus years old. One shot is 82%. and complete is 71%, and that's a big difference from last month's numbers, so at least all the folks are taking this seriously. Updates on long-term projects, as I spoke about the 2021 plan, we've got that Department of Defense pre-application in, so that's really good news. For the FEMA, what's called a BRIC, that was submitted to New Jersey OEM on November 15th. After they review it, then they send it to FEMA in January. The other FEMA grant, the FMA grant, Flood Mitigation Assistance, that's what that stands for. That's a reimbursement grant, so whenever we pay money from our capital funds into doing a project, we then have to go to FEMA and get that reimbursed on a sliding scale depending on what the project is, but it's generally about 80%. Then we also did the New Jersey Shore Protection Program grant, and that was submitted on November 10th. Waterwitch and Bay Avenue's sanitary sewer project, that's the large $5 million project. That we just had a meeting this morning with Mike and the DEP, and we are still going through the mountains of paperwork that DEP requires. So we're getting closer, though, that there's many different levels of checkoffs before we can actually begin. They know that we're eager to start. We only have to give them, I believe, one more set of plans, and then they review on their end, and then back and forth with the engineers. They know that we're eager to start, and we're hopeful that we will be able to start in the new year. Waterwitch Pump Station improvements, engineering is still in the design phase. Shadow Lawn area of redevelopment, DEP is still reviewing pre-applications for CAFRA. Captain's Cove, same thing, permits are under review. They feel that they will be very close to sign off on that. That they meaning DEP. Overlook Park, as I mentioned, that was just awarded to engineering, so they're working on it. Entering into the CRS, the Community Rating System, for lower flood insurance for folks downtown. We named our CRS coordinator to be Greg Valesi of CME Associates. That was done on November 10th, and a letter was sent to the state making them aware of that. So that's that also has a series of check boxes that need to be had, and so we checked those couple of things off until the next. Validate open space inventory. This was last done in 1992. So the Open Space Committee finished that update, and we sent it to DEP on November 5th. I didn't check this morning, but I know that they're slow over there at state. They still have a bunch of people working from home, but that should be updated before the end of the year. Steep slope, environmental and shade tree, they're still working on that. I'm not expecting that they're going to get anything to us before the end of the year. Skate park upgrade, yes, we have a visioning meeting. That's going to be December 6th, 6 p.m. here at the community center. Moving electric out of the flood zone in Borough Parks. This is done for vets in Cornwall, and we're waiting for a quote to move that panel at Huddy. Ederly Park is going to be done as part of their larger project to rehab the entire park as well as shore up the part on the slope that gets dicey. Addressing runoff issues on Monmouth Hills. It's ongoing discussions with Monmouth Hills Homeowners Association, the state, the county, Middletown. The good news is we heard from Monmouth Hills that they hired an engineering firm, and that engineering report is due out in January of 22. And that is my report.
Okay, mine's going to be brief, so I'm not going to hit on the same ones that the mayor just hit. So in regards to the new Borough Hall, the architect is supposed to be going out to bid before the end of the year for that. Safe Routes to Schools grant, we have all the federal agreements signed and returned, and we're just waiting on the approval for that to start. What we got? Waterwitch pump station. I had a site visit with the engineering department over there on November 16th. King and Matthew Street, we're going to be awarding that to CME at the next meeting. And in the parks and the playground equipment, the installation has already begun, as the mayor mentioned.
At this time, we have a public portion. I just have a statement to read before we proceed. Individuals wishing to address the council shall be recognized by the presiding officer and shall give their name, address, and the group, if any, they represent. Although the council encourages public participation, it reserves the right through its presiding officer to terminate remarks to and/or by any individual not in keeping with the conduct of a proper and efficient meeting. If any individual refuses to conduct themselves in a proper manner, they will be removed from the meeting. The council will not, during the public portion of this meeting, discuss matters involving employment, appointment, termination of employment, negotiations, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation of the performance of, promotion, or discipline of any specific or prospective or current employee. There's a 3-minute time limit for your comments. Thank you.
Claudette Dorito, 12 Cedar. Couple of questions. I was hoping Pat would be here so I could ask these questions of Pat, but maybe somebody else in the council can answer them. But the first question, the safe schools that you just mentioned, is that the sidewalk grant? Okay. Can you please make sure the police stay on top of the people that are parking on the sidewalk on Linden? I stopped a cop the other day because the same car keeps doing it. 99% of the people on that street are respectful. This one black Altima is parking on the sidewalk. It's almost like arrogant. And you can't get around them when you're walking down the street. So that was the one thing. Okay, the parks, the other day, Carolyn, you mentioned in one of the meetings that we have an open space funds for the parks equipment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're using the open space funds for the playground equipment in Hutton and Vets Park?
And the community center.
And the community
And
center?
right outside here, where that TV thing,
And there was a grant that you received for Connect and grant on that, for open space, or is that
it's a
part of the fund?
reimbursable grant, yes.
I'm sorry?
It's a reimbursable grant, so you have to,
Was it an open space grant?
Yes.
Okay, that's my question, on that. And then, my last question is for Mr. Ball. There are 3 members of this council that were sponsored, had a benefit, had an event on property of Captain's Cove. I find it very disturbing that council members are being allowed to vote on a resolution to reinstate this company to do work there that has not been done in the last 3 years. Since I was on council, they've been playing with this. It's not improved. We are flooding exactly the same way that we have been flooding in the last 3 years. And I'd like you to check and make sure that those 3 members, the three newest council members, who are allowed to vote on this resolution. I believe that's what Mr. Solomon was trying to directly ask, if they had to recuse themselves, and what is the repercussions then, if they were supposed to recuse themselves, do you reverse that resolution? What do you do?
So, So as for, based on what was described, hosting an event on a property alone isn't sufficient to meet a level of conflict, either direct or indirect, that would deny them the ability.
Except if he sponsored it, and he contributed to the campaign. Before, are you
But-
sure about that?
It does not necessarily mean they're ineligible to vote. But if, in any event, if there's any sort of, if the state were to determine that any vote's improper, it would render any action void, and it would have to be redone at a later date.
Okay, so I can report that to the state then and let them decide?
You have the right to do that.
Okay, that's my questions. Thank you.
Anyone else? Sir, if you could just please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Joseph Doran. I live at 102 Valley Avenue. I'm here, I'm not necessarily asking a question, but making a statement about a building project that's going on 14 North Peach Street. I live directly below that project that's going on. Last month, I guess about 3 weeks ago now, all the trees were taken down on my property. A permit was okayed for that. It was a wooded area, and my property is also wooded. One of the trees that was taken down, fell onto my property. That was not supposed to happen, so there was an accident up there. And damage was done to my deer fence, and several, maybe a dozen trees and small bushes were damaged. That was the first phase of the project. 2 houses are supposedly going to be built up there. And the second phase of the project is to put in a retaining wall, because this is a steep slope area that was clear cut. So I live directly below it, and I'm concerned about drainage during construction and after construction, erosion, environmental issues mostly. And then another part of this project is putting a sewer line, which the builder has the permits to do so. There's a right-of-way there that the town owns on the back side of my property, and on one side of my property leading down to the sewer line in the street. It's a steep slope, it's a difficult area in which to work, and I'm concerned that there's going to be more collateral damage on top of the already damage that was already done. And I'm concerned about it. It's my property. The builder has every right to develop the property, but he has no right to damage my property. And I just want to make the statement, have it here on the record. I don't know how anybody can directly address it. I did speak with Mike the other day, on Monday, about it, so he's aware of it. So I'm also concerned about that the proper retaining wall be put up there, and the right oversight and proper considerations are given to the project, and that I'm protected. Right now, it's after the fact, the damage that was already done. My recourse is only the assurances of the builder, and he says he's going to fix it, or I have to wind up taking him to small claims court. And the last thing I want to do is go to small claims court.
Right, of course.
Yeah. The accident that happened should never have happened. I consider that the builder was irresponsible and negligent, and did not have any respect for the property lines that existed up there. It was not surveyed out or marked out before the trees were taken down. Subsequent to the trees being taken down, it has been surveyed or stakes put in where the sewer line right-of-way is. I was there when this whole thing was going on, not just me, but my other neighbors were there as well, and we witnessed all of this. It was doing right in front of us. I did call the builder twice, left a message on one of them. He didn't respond, so I did call the police. And there is a police report about this accident and the damage that did ensue from that. So, those are my comments. I don't know if anybody here can address them in any way, shape, or form, but I just just the disregard or the lack of concern for my property is just hard for me to understand, because I get along with the guy who's doing the job. And we've spoken about it, but I just don't have any assurances or feel confident that he's really going to address the matter. It looks like a bomb went off up there. And it is a steep slope. And it's right now with nothing on it. And that could remain like that until spring. Who knows? No retaining wall. And I understand that he's I don't know if he's submitted them or not, plans to the engineering department for that retaining wall. I don't know where that's at right now.
Well, that would be our first stop, is, to have Mike, contact the building department, the zoning department. He should have a full set of plans. He should also have a drainage plan. We have a steep slope ordinance that, yes, we're looking to update, but they still must comply with all of the above. And, Mr. Michelle will have to follow up with that.
We did, we had a nice meeting on Monday about this. I have a call into the construction department about this.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to get everything that you had mentioned.
Right,
And we can
right.
move forward from there.
I do have one question. It's
I'm
after
sorry,
the,
sir, I just had to make the mention that it's been the 3 minutes, but.
and it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't answer my question.
Yeah, ask your question.
Thank you.
When a site is given the permits to take down all the trees, especially a steep slope, does that have to go to a planning board of some sort before it's officially, approved? Does anybody know the answer to
Well,
that question?
I can tell you that this application did not go to the zoning. I mean, it did not come to the land use board.
That I know.
So because it did not go to the land use board, that means that whatever they're building is conforming with existing code.
Yeah.
So it does not have to go and get a variance.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is because the land use, ordinance, the steep slope ordinance, and the tree permit ordinance, or application, has something about planning board review. It uses the word planning board. And I know of no such board here in town. It's called a planning board.
We combined our boards in 2016. There used to be a separate planning board and zoning board. We combined it into one board, and it is now called the land use board.
Okay. So that answers my question, and there isn't somebody who reviews that. It goes to
The
Middletown,
zoning officer in
Yeah, it goes
Middletown
to the-
should be reviewing that.
should be reviewing
Yes.
the tree permits.
No, we have our own,
Yeah,
we have our own.
that's what I'm
tree
saying.
here.
It's separate. Everybody is separate, and there's no, this project gets off the ground without any overview.
Well, that's what I have to have Mike investigate.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm upset about. Okay.
I understand.
And I understand that everything was, the permits were all proper, that I understand. But how that's given, and how that's approved, it raises a lot of questions.
Okay.
And it should say planning board on the tree permit application.
We'll get that fixed. Thank you. Seeing no one else, I'm going to motion to adjourn.
Does that come from everybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.